I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be women who are hot and cold. Well, I've had an experience dating women that are like that, whereas one week they simply can't get enough of you, and the next week they're bored to death and they don't want anything to do with you, or if you ask them out to do something, where the week before they were jumping all over it, and the next week it seems like they couldn't be less interested in hanging out with you, and it leaves you scratching your head. Now, in my experience in the past, when everything's going great with a girl you're dating, and all of a sudden she goes cold, maybe it's somebody you're not that serious with yet, maybe you're both dating other people. When women go cold all of a sudden, you haven't done anything wrong, typically what it means is there's usually another dude in the background, maybe an ex-boyfriend that's trying to come back, or a guy that they had a crush on that they really thought it was going to go somewhere with, and then it went sideways, and then now all of a sudden he seems potentially to be back in the picture. So that could be another reason why she goes hot and cold. And also there's passive-aggressive women out there who I've talked about in the past. Well, I've dated women like this. These are women that everything will be going great, and they'll just purposely fuck things up. They'll know that they're fucking things up, but yet they won't do anything. It's like they'll create a train wreck, and they'll just stand there and look at all the damage and destruction of the train wreck, but they won't do anything to help any of the survivors. I mean, it's a metaphor, obviously. In other words, they won't do anything to help your relationship. They will require you to solve it and fix it. In other words, if you don't solve it and fix it, then it doesn't get fixed and resolved. And so women that you're dating like that, you could be doing everything right, and all of a sudden they just go cold from one minute to the next. Just that's because it's their weird, screwy personality. So I get an email here from a guy who talks about a girl that he dated back in 2010 for about 3 months, and she blew him off completely. And he says, however, we kept in touch, and I've tried to reconquer her several times, but it never worked. And I would say that's because you chased her. When you chase women, you get rejected. And so when you continue to pursue somebody who's blown you off, you're basically communicating, hey, I know you rejected me because I was a douchebag, but please give me another chance, Your Highness, because I have nothing else going on in my personal life. And when you continue to hang around and pursue a woman, she's just going to think of you as a friend, and she's going to know that she can have you whenever she wants you. And so she figures, hey, you're always the absolute bottom of the barrel, the bottom of the peanut butter jar as far as backup goes in her life. And you've relegated yourself to this position in your life by your actions, by chasing her and pursuing her, because that's obviously, I can tell that's what's going on in your relationship. He says, then I decided to move on. A few months ago, I met her at a common friend's graduation, and we sat and talked for a few minutes. She kind of told me the real reason she broke up with me 2 years ago, and she even told me she was willing to give us another shot. Therefore, I renew contact with her. In other words, you started chasing her again. We started talking again from time to time, and it was going okay. Well, the only reason you contact a woman is to set a date, set a time to get together. This girl says she's open to getting back together, and then it's okay for you to reinitiate contact and ask her out for a date if that's what she says. Then great, say, hey, you want to meet? When are you free to meet up for drinks next week? Question mark. Let her respond, and when she gives you a couple of days she's available, pick one that you're available and say, great, how about Tom and Jerry's place at 8 o'clock on Tuesday night? Question mark. Great, I'll see you there. Then just agree to meet her out. That's all you have to do. But instead, what did you do? You fucking dicked around, you beat around the bush, talking and trying to have a relationship on the phone, figuring that you'll talk her into wanting to go back to where it was. And I can tell you need to read my book, first off, because you're making completely unnecessary mistakes here, and you don't know what you don't know. He says, however, after a few weeks, she became flaky and distant again, and trust me, I wasn't pushing her. I wasn't acting needy. No, you were just probably calling her up and acting like a male girlfriend, basically, or a dude who's at her beck and call, or her male servant, or her manservant, or her butler. I felt like she wasn't really interested in getting back together as much as I was. And I say that's probably true. One day she seemed interested, the other she'd be a stranger. So after spending about 2 weeks without talking, I caught her on Skype around 10 p.m. As soon as we started talking for about 5 minutes, she said she has to be up tomorrow early and has to leave. I confronted her right away and said, it looks like I'm wasting my time. That conversation lasted 2 hours. Basically, I was getting straight up with her to know if we were on the same page. She said she's only interested in friendship, and it's not what she said a few weeks earlier at our friend's graduation. I told her I love and adore her, but I can't only be a friend with her. If she can't understand that, I'm going to move on. She said she's not ready for a relationship, blah, 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 but I made my point, and I was out for real. I've learned that strategy from you. The next day, she initiates a conversation for the first time in years. Well, that tells me that you did all of the initiating. So why should she call you? Why should she reach out to you? She knows you're going to call her anyways, even if she blows you off. He says, I replied, I don't see what... She says, I hope... She says, she sends me a message, I hope you would ask me again in 1 year. And he says, I replied, don't see what would be different in 1 year. She tried to make me talk again, but I cut it out quick and said, I'm not interested in discussing. Let me know if you change your mind. Otherwise, I'm done. Since then, she didn't contact me. I'd love to hear your interpretation. Well, there's pretty much nothing you can do because you've walked away at this point. But you got to understand, it's like you really don't have much of a chance with this girl because you've always chased her and you've always pursued her. So you've just months and months of you blowing up her phone and chasing her. And she knows you're always going to come running back like a little puppy dog. And so the only way you'll own a woman's heart is if she knows that if she pushes you too far, you'll walk and never look back. And where you did fuck up is when you contact her again, you should have tried to make definite plans to get together for a date, hang out, have drinks, whatever. But you didn't do that. It just sounds like you just kind of talked with her on the phone, that's completely a fucking waste of time. And so that's understandable why she lost interest, because all you communicated to her was that nothing had changed and nothing was going to change in the future. When she says, contact me in a year, she's basically, in a nice way, saying, contact me in a year and hopefully you will have figured out how to treat women properly by then. That tells me that that's what she means by that. But at this point, I wouldn't do anything with her. Don't contact her at all. Just walk away. Never look back. And if she contacts you, try to arrange getting together, and if she won't get together with you, just withdraw the offer and say, hey, let's just do it some other time when your schedule's a little more flexible or a little more open, and then walk away and same thing, just wait to hear from her. I wouldn't call this girl at all, even if you run into her and she tells you that crap. And she says, oh yeah, give me a call. I was like, no, I've already called you enough. If you want to get together with me, you can initiate something this time. Show me that you're going to actually make an effort, because I'm not interested in pushing a wet noodle. It takes two in a relationship. If you're not even going to make an attempt, then I got better things to do with my time. That's the attitude that you need to have with this girl from this point forward. But you got to read my book. You can download it on my website. On the right-hand margin, there's a link to the Kindle store that'll take you right to it. You can download a free Kindle app to any electronic device, smartphone, tablet, PC, iPad, Mac computer, whatever it is that you got, laptop. You can download a Kindle app. It takes only 60 seconds, and then that way you can be reading it at the office, and then when you get home and you log into Kindle, it'll be right there in the same exact page that you left off at the office. It's a great way to go. So you got to learn the baseline knowledge and then get busy dating and meeting other women and practicing these skills so you can get several women that you're dating. Then that way, if this chick does contact you again in the future, it's not going to be the only thing you got going on in your personal life, because I can tell there's pretty much nothing going on. So you got to make something happen by going out and meeting other women, start going on dates, and so you can practice your skills and get good so you stop making all these unnecessary fuck-ups. So if you got a question that you'd like to ask me, or you have a topic you'd like me to cover in a future video newsletter, go to my website, understandingrelationships.com, click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs maximum detailing your questions, your situation, your challenges. And you just got to give me several days to get back to you, because I get a lot of email from the internet and my paying phone coaching customers. I got to answer their emails first, but be patient. I will get back to you. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session, and you can do that by clicking the Products tab at the top of your screen on any page of my website, and just follow the instructions for booking a paid phone coaching session. And I will talk to you soon.